Hey, Eonin here. Today I'm gonna get to a review on a knife that is long overdue. The Spyderco Shaman in S30V. So basically the work model, the base model. So let's jump in with some specs on this one. We got Crucible CPM S30V steel. It is stone washed. We got a full flat grind. It goes almost right up to the top of the spine, just a little short there, but full over here. We've got modified spear point, stainless nested liners with milling lightning inside of, taking some weight out of the inside of them. This is a compression lock knife, so it uses a little bit different locking system that you're going to press, and then the knife will close. It is using G10 scales that are contoured, and we've also got a reversible pocket clip riding on, by the way, phosphor bronze bushings, not bearings, right? So this is a user. Hey, let's see, we'll give you some other basic specs. We've got 3 inches of usable blade. We've got 4.5 scale length and a tip to tail of 8 1/8. The weight on this knife is 5.1 ounces. So yes, a little bit chunky, a little 5 ounces, got some heft to it. Let me talk about my impressions and likes over the time I've had the Spyderco Shaman. So first of all, let me say that this is my favorite Spyderco knife. I own several. This is my favorite. This is the knife I had wanted to pick up for a long time. I finally did. I've got to use it, carry it, do all that stuff with it for a while. The Shaman is my favorite Spyderco. So one of the reasons I love this knife so much is it has great ergos. The ergos on it are fantastic. I don't care how big your hands are. You're probably going to find a spot on this knife that you like. Medium to extra large size hands, you're probably going to find a few different spots on this knife that you like. But again, ergonomics are one of the big things. It has really well placed jimping on the back of the blade and here on the front choil. So the knife just really locks into place really, really well. The contouring and finish on the scales is nice. There's no real texture to it, but because you can get so much of your hands around this knife, you don't really need that. It feels really good just the way it is. So ergos, right? Ergos, jimping, solid performance from this Crucible S30V steel. One thing I can say about this knife, I have used this quite a bit for cutting. I have not had to resharpen it. I don't have any nicks in the blade, any dings, anything like that. I have stropped it a few times after using it and put it right back to very sharp. So Spyderco's reputation for offering good heat treats on their steels, which makes a huge difference in the performance, is their reputation is well warranted. I have seen that played out with this knife for sure, that it definitely has a durable blade on it. And obviously that's the biggest factor, right? How does it cut? So kudos for the heat treat. Build quality is what you'd expect from a United States, planet Earth made US Spyderco. The knife also carries very well in your pocket. Even though some of it sticks out about that much, it just carries very well. There's enough smoothness to the way this is designed to really carry very, very nicely. So let's talk about issues and dislikes. My biggest issue with this knife is closing the compression lock. So I have another Spyderco that has compression lock and I freaking love it. But on this one, when you close the compression lock, which you have to press with your finger, the bottom of the choil here smacks you in the finger. And if you close it with some, so if you let it really kind of sling it down there, it's gonna whack you bang. It hits you pretty hard there in the tip of the finger. So this sticking out to me is a design flaw. It really, to me, it's a design flaw because there's I think there's at least 2 ways they could have probably remedied that situation by changing just very slight changes to the blade thickness over, height over here and maybe making that choil not quite stick up so high as it comes through here. But there it is, bang, whacks you in the hand. Now, time out for all you Spyderco compression lock lovers. I know that they make aftermarket products like OCD for EDCs CME, which stands for compression made easy, that actually goes and it's machined out and it fits in here and you glue it on, but I have to buy something extra to make my knife close comfortably. That's my argument against this being like this. It shouldn't, right? So it makes a really good locking system on this particular knife a design fault, because that right there coming through there is just not cool. So that's really the only big issue that I have with the Shaman at all. But it's a fairly significant one in my opinion. Now, I do think their clip is design is getting aged. I think it's time for Spyderco to kind of step into the, you know, the current year that we're in here and start designing some clips that make more sense on their knives. But some people like them and love them. Feel-wise, it's fine. It's not uncomfortable at all. But, you know, it doesn't let you deep carry the knife. And that, to me, is probably something I would like on this knife because it is bigger. Anyway, there you go, guys. Let's do a couple quick size comparisons, all right? First, Doug Ritter's, the Hogue Doug Ritter, right? Beautiful little knife. So you go pivot to pivot. You can see they're very similar in size. Blade length, almost the same. A little bit more cutting edge on the Ritter. A little bit more handle in the back here on the Ritter than you get on the Spyderco Shaman, but very similar if you own one of those. Sig Sauer, made by Hogue. So Hogue Sig Sauer K320. When I say that the Spyderco Shaman is one of the most ergonomic knives in this size class, that is a true statement. But probably the most ergonomic knife in this size class, and it costs less money, like a significant amount of money less. Same steel, same ergonomics, great build quality on that, right? And it's less money than a Shaman, just saying, guys. If I had to pick one that I liked better out of these two, it would, by far, it would be the Hogue K320. The Shaman is nice, but this is just a better knife ergonomics-wise. Same blade steel, similar blade shaping, in general, what you're getting as far as the amount of blade, and a lot less money with a great company like Hogue, made in the United States as well. It's a little flag on it right there. So something to think about if you can't afford a Spyderco Shaman. And then finally, I'm going to give you guys a really inexpensive knife that's still available. This is the Kershaw Knockout. It's been around for a long time. This is mine. Most carried knife in my entire collection. Pivot to pivot, very similar. A little bit more blade length on the Shaman. A little bit less handle length on the Knockout, but not by much, just a small amount. So there you go, there's an inexpensive knife for you guys to compare size-wise. So let me summarize. This knife is around $225 to $230, depending on where you get it and when. If you can find one. Shamans are pretty tough to get your hands on. And it's a base model. They offer a lot of other kinds that go up outrageously in price. But the Shaman's ergos and its blade steel are its two greatest assets. It's got fantastic ergos. It's got really good blade steel from Spyderco. I'm not sure if at that price it's the best value if you're looking for an ergonomical knife in this size category. But you certainly can't go wrong with the quality of the knife, the quality of the steel, and again, the great ergonomics. Are there flaws in the Shaman? Sure. But I'm willing to overlook some of those. The CME issue and the older style, you know, an old style clip, you know, something like that. I'm willing to overlook that stuff because this is such a great knife, guys. So anyway, there it is, finally, my Spyderco Shaman review. If you like it, go out and try to find yourself one. Thanks for watching as always. Stay sharp, everyone.